Hello, and welcome to First 7-Inch Club, episode 217. First 7-Inch Club is a podcast where we dig up 7 inches from the past within the realms of hardcore punk and metal and discuss whether or not they're worth being remembered. We also provide facts and trivia that we get from the internet and our own personal experiences. We do our own research on this show, so sometimes we get things wrong, but I don't know why I say we do our own research, because who else is going to do it? It's not like we have a production team, but we do our own research, and we're not investigators or anything, so we're not pros. But anyways, I am Mike, and with me is Scott.
We look at Wikipedia ourselves. We open up the tabs ourselves. No interns.
Nope.
No producer.
Nope.
All those other shows you listen to where they just keep saying like the name of a guy that you never hear.
Yeah.
That's their producer. They pay a boy to record them, edit, look things up. We don't do that. It's me and Mike. We're out here on an island. It's fucking cold. And speaking of cold, it's Christmas time, Mike. Merry Christmas.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
What are you wishing for? Are you wishing for anything special this year for Christmas?
A job would be nice, but I mean, outside of that, not really. Just, yeah.
Do you and your significant other shower each other in gifts during better years when you're actually employed?
Yeah, I mean, we've been together for a while now, so it's like we'll either buy like one big thing for the house or whatever, or we'll do whatever. But it's not as crazy as it used to be, probably.
Yeah, I got my wife a Wi-Fi router one year. It was pretty hype. She really liked it. There's one thing that I've wanted for a long time, and I'll never get it because now I think it's a collectible item. Once upon a time, I was in like maybe Ames. It was like some store that's probably long gone now. And there was a decoration called the Bandstand Bears. Have you ever seen the Bandstand Bears?
Is that like the Berenstein Bears?
Nope. This is like they're like 5 little mechanical bears, and they're dressed like little Sergeant Pepper. Little like band leader. Like old timey band leaders, and they're at a real xylophone, and they play Christmas carols, and they like turn their heads to look at each other, like a little rock, like a miniature Rock-afire explosion for you, just for the holidays.
Okay. And
it's not big. It's like the size of like the whole thing's probably the size of like a magazine or something. So it's this little band. It's a little band of bears that you command. You snap your fingers and they play you Good King Wenceslas, or like Here We Come a Wassailing or something like that. And it's really interestingly orchestrated. They actually have them all play little harmonies with their little mallets. And while they're playing, they look back and forth at each other. It's the cutest thing. And it's actual music. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful little item that they just made as like a shitty, seasonal decoration. And it came and went. But I think that the company that made it became one of those things that, like Hummel or something that people are into. So this thing was probably $15 when it came out, and now if I want one, I got to spend like $200 for to buy some classic thing. I'm not spending any of that kind of money on this shit, but I want it, and I also want to know if it's hackable. Like if it is like a little mini Rock-afire explosion, I can have it play "Rock You Like a Hurricane" and things like that with their little heads moving back and forth the whole time. That would make my holiday, because I'm not a big Christmas guy.
Yeah.
I'm a real fucking Grinch. But if I had the Bandstand Bears, I might get a little spirit. I might get a little spiritual even, I might think there's something out there, something bigger than me.
I remember going to Menards around the holiday season. They had a bunch of stupid shit like that. So I guess they still make it. So you could. Yeah,
well, there is they did make like a lesser one that has 3 bears.
Okay.
And maybe it's still nice, but it's not the 5-bear version, man. You gotta get that 5-bear band.
Yeah, I don't know then. But I remember seeing that stuff at Menards and just being like, who buys this? But I guess you would. So
just as well, it's the only thing I want. The only thing I want in the whole world is the Bandstand Bears 5-bear edition only. Don't miss me with that 3-bear shit. I'm not here for that.
Outside of that, if you want to reach us, you can go to first7inchclub@gmail.com or go to our easier, more convenient Instagram at First 7-Inch Club. That's all letters. You can reach us there if you have questions or concerns or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't
just concerned about something you want to talk about it.
If If you have concerns, you just want to talk to somebody, I'm here for you. I'll talk to you. We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/First 7-Inch Club. You throw us a couple bucks a month, you get a couple episodes a month. You get a lot this month because there's already 200% more production this month than there has been any other month since last December, because I got my flyer archive up there. I just dropped my top 10 movies of the year, as well as the top 10 movies I watched for the first time this year. You could go listen to me talk for an hour by myself, which is insane, but if you're into that shit, maybe some of you guys have long commutes. You gotta spend the time not talking to your family, so you just listen to podcasts. There you go. We're also recording a Christmas themed episode tonight. We're going to be covering an old punk compilation called Bollocks to Christmas. I don't even what do you know what year this is from? Is it from like 1994 or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's from later than we expect.
Yeah, I think it's like 94, but
89. It says 89. Okay. I thought it was from later.
Yeah, so they must have repressed it in 90 because I saw 94 somewhere. So yeah, 89, that makes more sense then, because all these songs sound very old. But if you need some alternative music to listen to for Christmas, it's going to be too late this year. By the time you hear it, you're going to have like a day or two to listen to it. But next year you could put this in your pocket, this Bollocks to Christmas. So we'll be talking about that. And yeah, that's it. I haven't done shit this week. Just sit around all day watching Taskmaster or playing my simulation video games, my baseball simulation video games. So I don't have anything else to talk about.
Have you come around to never mind the Buzzcocks yet, or are you still dismissing?
I watched that one episode and I was just like a lot of those shows, I'm just like, this could be a podcast. And obviously, now like a lot of these shows can be a podcast. And we're in America, we're spoiled, where we make big productions out of television, where a lot of other countries, they just have basically talkie shows where people just talk in a studio because it doesn't cost a lot to produce, and they don't have a big, industry of television. So they have a lot of shows like that. So yeah, like I was like, hey, if this is a podcast, I might listen to it, but I think that guy's funnier on Taskmaster.
I think it's weird. Do they have any actual game shows in England?
Yeah, they have a lot.
I've never seen one that isn't just comedians fucking with the format. No.
I watched a lot. A lot of them are, I would say, even better. I mean, I don't know what current game shows are in America even so, but I'd say a lot of them are pretty good. They have a pretty good gimmicks. Some of them get because a lot of them that I watched have it's like trivia stuff, and a lot of them get a little too British, where I'm just like, I have no idea what they're talking about. But outside of that, I think they're pretty good. So they do have those. I checked out Gogglebox too, because somebody recommended me that, and that's like a show where British people sit around. Well, not sit around, but they cut to these British people sitting at home, like commenting on whatever clips of television from that week they're watching. We had shows like that. I don't think we really have them anymore, but that was okay too. But that Taskmaster, I'm really upset. I just didn't pay attention for the last 10 to 15 years that it was available, or however long it's been. So, but yeah, that show's very funny. That's really it. Unfortunately, we can't do our State of Mind recording Secret Santa because Scott got his, but I did not get mine. We decided to do them together. So you're gonna have to wait till after Christmas, a little belated Christmas. I mean, it's probably not exciting for you guys anyways to hear people open presents, but maybe it is. So unfortunately, I just have a normal State of Mind this week. So stateofmindrecordings.com. It's a website, it's a distro, it's a record label. They're all on the internet. You can go buy records there, buy old records and new records, and old records that'll become new records. Buy them all for very cheap prices with $5 flat rate domestic shipping. His sale is still going on. I think it goes through the end of the year, so obviously you probably aren't going to get it by Christmas if you're listening to this, because this releases on Christmas Eve. But you can buy stuff for yourself, and or for next year, just buy some records this year and save them for next year for people. But every week I like to feature a record he's selling on his website. You go buy it or buy something else. This week I want to talk about the band Air Conditioning and their 7-inch Catneck/Frustrating. It's a 7-inch picture disc, and it's on sale for $5.07. That's 22% off. The description makes it sound pretty interesting, and it says it sounds like The Boredoms and Wolf Eyes. And they're from Allentown, Pennsylvania. But I mainly just like the kind of drawing of the cat on the picture disc. I think it's a really nice drawing, and it's a cat with a long neck since it's called Cat Neck. And so I like that. And otherwise, it's a white picture disc with this nice kind of pencil drawing of this cat. And it's really cute, and I like it. And so that's why I'm recommending Air Conditioning this week. And I think that name's cool too, because that's impossible to Google. These guys are never going to be found in Google, so so they have that going for them too. So it's a perfect storm for me.
It's a Christmas miracle, Mike, because we both picked the exact same record this week, and I'm not going to go back and pick a new one. But since you gave the Statler, I'll give the Waldorf or whatever. I don't know who's the good guy and the bad guy, but. So the description says, brandishing sounds so callow and coarse, you'll assume they were etched into this record with a brick. The guitars and drums are put into service as makeshift weapons in a battle against routine, leaving distortion and resentment the only instruments. I would agree with all that, but I think that they're trying to say that in a positive way. So I would reduce the positivity of my voice when I said any of those words, because this literally sounds like someone with a distorted bass was captured on like an old clay tablet.
Oh, man.
Like something that you could technically play on a turntable, and you'll hear the haunted sound of a young boy with rickets from the 1700s slowly dying. It's just like, it is like pure room noise. Like they got the room noise and then cranked it up to 1,000, like put that through the gain. And then there's distorted feedback bass that sort of grinds up out of the mess like the T-1000 reaching up out of the molten metal. Except not quite as cool. I don't understand making this record, but it's only $5. It looks awesome. It's called Cat Neck. So I give it a shot. Air Conditioning Cat Neck this year. Both Mike and I agree that you should buy this record.
So yeah, definitely check that out. I guess if you're into noise, go check it out if you're into noise. Everybody loves noise for Christmas.
Hell yeah.
Since I don't have anything else to talk about, let me look up the channel name. Gotta have a YouTube recommendation. This is not even behind the Patreon paywall. I'll just give you a little YouTube recommendation.
It's like we're showing feet pics or something.
That's pretty much. Dude, where is it? I just fucking watched it. Where is it? Sorry, guys. Sorry. The reason I couldn't think of the channel name is because it's just this guy's name. And his name is Zachary Jackson. That's the name of the channel. Zachary. It's ZACCHARY. And I don't know what his deal is, but it looks like he's been doing this for a few years. And I don't know. I don't think I saw it like the last couple of years, but I've been watching the shit out of it this week. He's doing Nick at Night 90s broadcasts reimagined. And so what I think he's doing, because a lot of the stuff I've been watching on it, I don't think has ever been on Nick at Night. So I think he's just taking like old television shows and just putting like Nick at Night specific commercials and bumpers and all this stuff inside of it. And it's like, I've seen other people do this, but they lose it because they like, when they go to commercial, the quality dips or like gets better or something, or the sound dips out or something. So it's like, it breaks the immersion. But the Zachary Jackson guy is, his shit's on point. So he has like 4-hour blocks of all of like these Christmas themed sitcoms that he's put in like a Nick at Night filter basically. And it's pretty amazing because like I usually around Christmas time I am searching for Christmas themed sitcoms, but I only know the basics. I don't ever think that deeply, but he has some real deep cuts in there. I was watching the Christmas episode of Alice yesterday, and it was pretty good. There's just a lot of shit you would ever think of, and it has all like the wholesome commercials around it too. So if you're into commercial television or Christmas television with commercials, check out this Zachary Jackson commercial. He posted something that he's gonna have some special shit on Christmas Eve, and that's today. That's when you're listening to this. So check out Zachary Jackson channel if you want something to throw on in the background while you're getting drunk on Christmas Eve.
I get into it. I every now and then there'll be a trivia thing or a Jeopardy question or something that reminds me of how much Nick at Night I watched and how much it informed me about the world, the bizarre world of the past. Like I've seen, who are the two of the Patty Duke show? The Patty Duke show, the theme song for that goes through my head verbatim like once a week. I haven't seen that show in 35 years. I still think of the theme song. I still think about Mr. Ed all the time. I hardly ever watched it. It wasn't a very good show. I didn't really watch a lot of Mr. Ed, but I feel like I know a lot about Mr. Ed. I can rattle off facts about him that I shouldn't know, about how they made him talk and stuff like that. And Of course, I know the theme song off the top of my head for that as well. And it's like, how many hours of that did I watch to still feel like I didn't watch any of it?
Yeah.
And to still be able to know it off the top of my head and forget it. So I'll forget it. And then there'll be something like you talk about, like there'll be someone who remixes it or something. And I'm like, oh my God, I saw so much of like the Nelson, what was the Nelson show called? Ozzie and Harriet?
Ozzie and Harriet, yeah.
Oh, all that shit. I saw way more of it because not a lot of it was actually that good.
No.
Like, Leave It to Beaver was kind of good. It was kind of weird. Beaver asked his mom a lot of fucking weird questions, and it was could be good at times, but the rest of it, I don't know. I just saw so much shit. Dobie Gillis maybe is okay too. That's an okay
that was
show.
a weird one. He played the Gilligan played the beatnik.
Yeah, counterculture from Gilligan from Gilligan's Island.
I forgot to check my levels before this, so hopefully, guys, I've been sounding good. Hopefully, I just raised it up a little, so now I sound even better. But yeah, that's why I preferred the early 2000s Nick at Night, because that was like that was when they were showing like stuff that I remember from when I was a little kid, but too little to watch, like All in the Family and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that was when I was like, TV can never get better than this. This is perfect. This Nick at Night, I love it. And now like we're old, so I think they still show Nick at Night, but it's like, shows from when we were already adults. So it's just depressing to watch now. So
yeah, I mean the point of Nick at Night is kind of gone now. It was meant to like fill the broadcast days. But did you watch it in the very, very early days when they first launched it, and it had like original shows that they made up for it, like like Mad Movies?
Yeah, I watched
Mad Movies.
Yeah, I watched it constantly. Yeah.
That's something I'd like a time machine for, because I can't even remember most of it. What I just said is the sum total of what I remember. I remember that there was Mad Movies, and I remember they showed a bunch of other bent and weird shit that just kind of came and went before they figured out, people just want to see Ozzie and Harriet for 7 hours at night or whatever.
It's much cheaper for us to just show these reruns than it is to make shows. There was one that I loved, and I always forget the name, and I'm pretty sure I brought it up on the show before, but there was one they did back then where it was like two movie critics, but they were just reviewing fake movies. And I was when I was a kid, I was like, this is brilliant, but it was whatever. Anyways, I guess we can move on to this record. Not as exciting as Nick at Night, let me tell you, but tonight we're talking about the band Haywire and their 7-inch Painless Steel from 1990. I don't think that date is correct. I think this is probably from 91. I don't know. If this is really from 1990, these guys had a whirlwind career of releasing 17 things in 1990, and that's it. But so I think this is I don't know. I feel like it was recorded. Wait, it was recorded 89, so I guess this could have been released in 1990. But anyways, yeah, it's from 1990 on Nemesis Records, and this is actually this is part of our short series, probably the last of the series, which is our SEO series of us purposely picking bands that have more popular alter egos now, or other bands that have the same names, and hopefully that people will be searching for that band and find our podcasts. And Haywire is a popular band right now. It was also a Canadian rock band, so hopefully if a lot of older Canadians are searching for Haywire, they'll find our podcast too and be disappointed. Yep. But so here we are. So Haywire was a crossover thrash hardcore band from Southern California that formed in 1988, and I guess disbanded in about 1990. So they had a short career, but they released a lot of shit. This is actually their last 7-inch, but it's their only 7-inch that's just them. And it's also a live 7-inch, which I don't think we've ever done that before, because live 7-inches aren't really a thing, really, unless they're bootlegs. So this is like a real ass, officially released live 7-inch. I assume maybe is released. Actually, I don't even think it's released posthumously. I think they just released a live 7-inch. But yeah, before this, they had 2 split 7-inches, and they had 2 LPs. And again, everything is except one of the first split 7-inches is listed as 89, and everything else is listed as 1990. So somewhere somebody's lying. Not all this stuff was released in 19. No one is that prolific in 1990. So I think their last LP was probably released after 1990. I don't know, but either way, I think this is one of those bands that obviously me and Scott have no clue who they were. But I feel like if you're an older person from that area of California, you probably knew who these guys were. So yeah, if that happens to be you, you're probably gonna be really upset that we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. But that's how the cookie crumbles. Because just like reading a little about this band, it seems like even though they weren't around for a long time, it seems like probably people knew who the hell they were. First up is Billy Rubin, who was the singer. He was also, a few of these guys were also in a band called Half Off, which I've heard of, and I think I've heard Half Off before, but I never heard Haywire before. But he was also in Half Off. He's pretty much on the internet. You could find him pretty easily. He did I think like all he does, like, I think people just sporadically call these guys up and want them to explain the history of Haywire, because that's all you could find is these guys talking about the history of Haywire. They're a band for 2 years, man. Like, no one needs this much documentation, and here we are doing the same thing, but without any of these guys involved. So it's it's an even worse version of what these guys already did. But he wrote some kind of like history of Haywire for a blog spot, and in it he said like they broke up. They got a tour in Germany, and they broke up. And the way he explains it, he says that some kids with X's on their hands came up to him and asked him for his autograph. And after that, he was like, I'm done with this stuff, man. And given the way this is framed, I think all these dudes were really young. Like, I think most of these dudes were teens when this band was around. So they weren't like old dudes or anything, but I don't think that's really why the band broke up. I mean, the bassist we'll talk about, he also did like History of Haywire, and I think his is a little more involved than that. But either way, that's why he says this band is involved or broke up. The other thing he says in that is he mentions the 7-inch, and he says that this was recorded at a show they played with Nirvana, which is pretty cool. But it's I think it might be a lie, because they also, in that article, they have the flyer from the Nirvana show, and it's not the date that's on this record. So either his memory's messed up, or they played a couple shows in Nirvana. I don't know, but the date is wrong. So I don't know who to believe. I'd rather believe him since he played the show, but I don't fucking know. So yeah. And now he's an investment advisor, which is it's weird to have that job. And it seems like even in that article that I was talking about is from 2009, and he was one back then, and he still won. So it's weird to be like that deep in kind of an insidious industry and still be like super punk. So that's pretty cool, because you don't see that often. So hats off to you, Billy.
I read the same thing, and one of the things he says is that in the process of forming Haywire, unless I misunderstood, I think he was saying that like half of the band were pretty resistant to being involved in hardcore.
Yeah.
Like Rick wasn't a hardcore guy at all and didn't want to be. And Billy wanted to stay out of it and sort of intentionally wrote lyrics that he thought would keep them out of hardcore, which obviously ultimately failed, because the ex-hand kids, as he says, were trying to get his autograph. So, he says he moved to the desert to become an investment banker. Obviously he's something else now. But he does say in that thing that he had lost touch with all the other band members until he started posting on that blog spot. Oh, so wow. I think that's the extent of his punkness these days, is that he saw that website and was like, oh, cool, I remember these days. And he was like involved in the site. But that, of course, that's 15 years ago. On his Instagram, he's wearing a suit, and I was like, okay. And then he strictly posts photography from all over the world. He's been to a lot of very scenic looking places, so I had to assume he was doing something lucrative. His photography looks like AI. It looks like early AI almost, but I don't think it is. I even checked it with a tool. I checked it with an AI tool, and it says, nope, this is all original. So he does something with cameras that I guess I'm not really a photography guy. I don't know how you make everything look this crazy and like surreal, but he makes very surreal looking photography of places in the desert and weird smoky crevasses and weird weird cactuses and stuff. It's very crazy looking. I'm on the fence whether his name is real or not. There's someone else from some other band, like some industrial band. I don't know if it's Bile. There's some other band that we've glanced on as a joke in the past, where one of those guys also goes by Billy Rubin, because that's the name of like pus or something. Like there's something in your body. I forget what it is, but there's something in your body called Billy Rubin. Okay,
because that makes sense, because there's a lot of bands that use the name Billy Rubin. So
I assume that was this intent, but also the other guy, the Vadim's name is Rubin too. I assume they're brothers. So
that's what I thought too. But at the same time, like the way he talks about him, it doesn't sound like it's his brother. So I don't know. It's but why would you take the same last name?
Just took his name. I'm Rubin too. You're Rubin. Fuck you. I'm Rubin.
So I'm not sure. It's a mystery.
Yeah.
We should also mention we skipped over their sick promo picture on their Discogs, which
it's great.
I don't think you can get a more 1990 looking band than these guys, because I think it's Billy up front. It's like kind of overhead picture, and they're like all standing in a diamond section, and I think Billy is up front. He's the shorter guy, and he looks very much like early 90s, late 80s hardcore guy. Mm-hmm. He has the bleached hair. He has the big checkered jams. He has his white socks pulled up with his black Bobby Hill Vans. And he just looks, pretty much that era, that geography of hardcore. The guy to the left, which I assume is the guitarist, looks like a straight up Hessian. Yeah. The guy to the right is which I believe is the bassist, is trying to look like a Hessian, but you can tell because he doesn't have long hair.
His mom doesn't let him grow his hair out.
Yeah, but he's trying. And the guy in the back just looks like he wanted to be in a band. Yeah. And he's just, I don't know which one's Vadim, because none of these guys look like Vadim. So
I'm going to go with the guy in the back.
Yeah.
He's got a Vadim look to him.
Okay, yeah. And I guess on the record, they just call him the Russian Bear, and he seems to be the biggest guy. So, but yeah, he just looks like he's doing his own thing. But it's a great promo shot. Go check that out. Next up is John Bruce, who was the aforementioned bassist. In his lone promo shot on Discogs, he's playing a sick bass. It is very, very metal looking bass. It's pretty sick. I couldn't really find much on John Bruce because his name is John Bruce, but he was also in Half Off, and he has done a couple interviews on YouTube, like a YouTube podcast sort of thing. But one of them, the one I try to watch, it's like one interview that they broke up into like 37 different videos, and I was just like, fuck you, man, like just put it all in one video. What SEO bullshit? We're doing SEO bullshit. You're not doing SEO bullshit. You don't do this for the fucking clicks. Fuck that. So I watched one, and it was just him explaining the history of Haywire, and I was like, I've already learned this from the other guys, so I don't know what he's up to. He seems to still be somewhat involved in punk, but he was podcasting from like a pretty nice house, so I assume he has a real job. Also
in the photo with the cool bass, he's wearing a nice Uniform Choice shirt, a rare old Uniform Choice shirt. I couldn't find anything about him on social media or anything, but I watched the interview chunks that he did. I think that's from something big. Those are just sort of leftovers. That's why they're split up that way, because there's a full documentary called Orange County Hardcore Scenester.
Okay.
And I think that those are just kind of like the scraps. But yeah, he talks about Haywire. He talks about his newer band, Freebase.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if it's even still going. So
no, that Freebase was, I looked it up. It was also like in the early 90s. So
okay.
Unless they got back together, but I was like, I gotta check this out. But then I saw it was also from the early 90s. Yeah,
there was a song on a comp that looked a little more recent, and it's okay. It's like noise rock, but the hook is that it's just two bassists and a drum machine, and he didn't have a drummer or anybody else. But I don't know what's going on, because that song pretty much sounds like it has a trumpet, so it's weird to have like a trumpet in your no guitar band. I mean, Cop Shoot Cop did that too, so maybe that's just part of the. Maybe eventually, like if you bring two bassists together, a trumpet just wanders over. He's attracted to the pheromones of two bassists. There's a super group of the same name that is almost entirely composed of very famous bassists. The guy from the Smiths, guy from the Stone Roses, and Peter Hook from New Order and Joy Division. The most famous bassist in all of subcultural music already took your band name, so you can't be Freebase. But yeah, I found the same stuff. So
next up is Rick Greeno, who played guitar. I think he was the Hessian of the group. Mm-hmm. He was also in some projects more recently called Pagan Revenge and Bone Shift. It says Bone Shift here is a punk alternative rock band, and Pagan Revenge uses the Papyrus font on their Discogs, so I don't even care what that is. But Rick has a different look now. He's like he has the cool old guy look. Like, I'm old, but I'm still cool.
Yeah.
It seems from his Instagram that he's very into jazz these days, and you don't really see much about Haywire, although he doesn't hide it. Like, there's pictures of him tagged in it, but yeah, it's he's still involved in music somewhat, but mostly just loving that jazz, I think.
Yeah, it's almost like something snapped, because if you don't have to go too far back until he posts a lot about punk and metal. So he was going to punk and metal shows pretty steady. He would post like distortion pedals with books about punk as like almost like a meal pairing, like a pedal and a book. And he would post, instruments he was playing, and he would post Haywire records even once in a while. But then at some point, something snapped deep within him, and he only posts about like cigar box banjos and harmonicas and stuff now, and Buddy Guy, and that's really got me on the ropes. I don't think I could support any of that, man. Like, if you buy an amp for your harmonica, I'm out. I can't be there for that. But he looks like he's having a really good time. He seems like a very positive guy. He looks like he's loving whatever he's into. So, whatever.
And lastly was Vadim Rubin, who was the drummer. Also in Half Off, he was also in that band Ice that we talked about, because that guy Popeye from Far Side and Borderline was in Ice. Yeah, I'd still like to do them on the show, but I still don't have a 7-inch. But he was in. I guess he did time in like a lot of other, kind of as a scab for like a lot of other big time California early hardcore bands, including like Inside Out and stuff like that. So so he's done that, and now he's I think it's a professor. I didn't write it down, but I'm pretty sure he's a college professor and not just a teacher. But he's even in that 2009 blog post, it said he went on to be a scholar, and that's what he is. He's now a highfalutin history teacher, and I like that on his Discogs. It links to his Instagram, and he has 0 posts on his Instagram, but it does give you a little highlight that he was in a COVID era hockey league where their whole gimmick was that they were from the COVID era, because it says like Pandemic Hockey League on his jersey. But that's his only picture, is like the picture, the default picture on Instagram, but he has never posted. So, but yeah, that's what he's up to. Yeah,
he got up to a bunch of stuff, because I guess he also did some production. He produced the earliest Overkill records and the earliest Dark Angel records, which those are 2 good feathers to have in your cap. I think he ran a label. Yeah, now I think he's a high school teacher. It looks like he works at
maybe.
And he's got one of the most adorable things we've ever encountered on this podcast, which is that the school's website has a page to highlight faculty members who have musical hobbies, and they've drawn all of them as cartoons. So there's a cartoon of Vadim playing drums with a giant bicycle floating over him, and it says, a name synonymous with Northwood High School, history teacher Vadim Rubin balances heavy metal rock with a taste for the classics. As a self-taught drummer, Rubin works tirelessly to perfect his craft, practicing in his garage to constantly refine his skills. He remains connected with the culture to this day. Rubin values the process of writing songs and the energy he feels when he performs for an audience. Although Rubin leads a busy life due to his family and work as a history teacher, he hopes to find the time to practice more often. It's very nice. It's like the nicest thing I've ever seen. And then in Billy's interview on Double Cross, the whole comment section is about Vadim banging everyone's girlfriends. It's just like, it's all like people who are, some guy shows up who's mad about him doing something like 20 years ago, and then everyone just roasting that guy, like, oh, did you get your girlfriend? And then they're like, the Russian bear, he pounds the skins, because he says that earlier. Someone says that on the record.
Yeah.
So they go for miles and miles, and then right at the end, all of a sudden, kids start showing up and being like, Mr. Rubin's my AP history teacher. And stuff. So life is very complicated, especially on the internet.
There you have it. So this was on Nemesis Records, and I was worried by the logo on the record that this was going to be a fake record label, but it's not. It's a defunct late 80s, early 90s California hardcore and punk label run by Big Frank Harrison. Nemesis was known for its social issues, positions, as promoted on decals and apparel with slogans which included "Use your head, say no to drugs and gangs," and "Racism by any means necessary," and "Castrate rapists. It's the only way to be sure."
Yeah.
Wait. Does that not lead to anything? Okay, there we go. Big Frank Harrison is a U.S.-American tattooer, musician, and founder of Nemesis Records. He's former manager at Zed Records and former stage manager for Golden Voice Concerts. He passed away in 2024, so he is no longer with us. But yeah, like I didn't like this record label didn't ring a bell, but it seems like if you were around late 80s, early 90s California, these guys put out a lot of legendary records. So the only one that I'm familiar with is the Vision in the Blink of an Eye set or LP, and that's the only one I've ever seen around. But because I mean, mostly all this stuff is before my time, so I would see it, but not often. Like they put out the first Offspring LP, which I am sure they ate well off of for a while after they got famous, because they did repress it in 1995. But I looked it up just for shits and giggles to see how much it goes for, and it goes for upwards to $800 now. So
wow,
it's a good one to have. They put out the Instead 7-inch. The Vision. Curious George. No one cares about that. But Once and For All, not the Once and For All we know, but I own that Once and For All record. I just was reminded. Actually, I think that's one of the things I ordered and it never got to me, because I thought I bought that. Maybe I didn't. I know they put out some other cool stuff. I'm just looking through it. Reason to Believe. Point Blank. It's another Albany band, but it's not this one. Chorus of Disapproval. That's what I was thinking when they put out the Truth. Gives Wings to Strength, Chorus of Disapproval. Game Face, which I assume is probably the first Game Face thing. Billingsgate. Everybody loves Billingsgate from Victory Records. They put out Billingsgate before Victory Records, so you got that going for you. Berserker, Chorus of same Chorus of Disapproval. Face Value, early Tony Erba band. Final Conflict.
Yeah, that Chorus record got put out many different ways on this label for some reason. I didn't think they were that big.
And then they repressed the Offspring a million times, and a Uniform Choice record for some reason. But yeah, it seems like something that was a little before my time and across the country. So it's not anything I came in contact with, but I'm sure many slightly older people from that area probably have fond memories of this record label. Yeah,
I think aesthetically this is a pretty cool label. It really feels like the early '90s when I scroll down this, because this is stuff like that. That one of the first things I noticed is that Visual Discrimination record. It's got a face on it, and then the One Step Ahead record also has like a weird face. There's a lot of those records that just have like a cool drawing of a weird face, and that makes me think of like old cool punk shit, like the Screamers or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they have a lot of early Posy stuff, like the Face Value and Uniform Choice, which feels more modern to me, even though that's very old. And that was old when I was young. It still feels like more, for some reason, Straight Edge just feels more modern to me, I guess. And things that are Straight Edge adjacent, because I guess Face Value isn't technically Straight Edge. And yet a lot of these records were the kind of thing that if you were getting into hardcore in the early 90s, for some reason, things were making you feel like you had to be into them. Like you had to check out Instead. Instead ads were in everything.
Yeah,
you're always seeing Instead. I don't know why they're not really like anything that I don't like him that much, but it's just something that was like a default. Uniform Choice was kind of a default, even though they had already gone like AOR by then, so there wasn't really that much of a reason to be into them. I really like the cover art to Our Band Sucks by the band Our Band Sucks. They don't have a song called Our Band Sucks on that record. That's unfortunate. But the cover art is like primo high school good drawer buddy artwork. I love it. My high school had a guy who drew just like this when I was a freshman, and they just let him do the whole yearbook with his drawing style. It fucking sucked. That year's the worst yearbook. But so this cover really takes me back. I love that drawing style. There's not a ton in this label that I really want to listen to because I'm racist against 80s hardcore. But the X-Chorus X hoodie is an all-timer. I'd still wear that. I always loved the name Chorus of Disapproval. I think it's a fucking awesome band name. And I would still wear that hoodie, even though I keep failing to be straight edge. Today I'm not straight edge, guys. I'm sorry. I'll get back to it, but I'm kind of failing right now. And I like the band enough that I could wear it. It'd be okay if I wore it. So I looked up Big Frank. I knew about him a little bit. I didn't realize he had just died, but it made me look up Carrie Nation, the Dano, what's his name? Dano Mahoney band he did. And I realized they weren't even straight edge. They're named after like a very famous prohibition lady who busted up liquor joints with a fucking axe.
Yeah.
And they're not a straight edge band. I don't think they're even making fun of straight edge or anything. They just picked the name that would be the most straight edge name you could possibly have during the most straight edge era of hardcore, and just had nothing to do with it. That's very funny.
Now we can get this record onto the tray. Come on. Nice. There we go. So there's not much to talk about this record. This was live 7-inch, and this is why I didn't know if this is a real record label, because you get no insert. You get a front and back cover and the record, which is fine. It's a live record. This is probably a labor of love. They probably weren't expecting to make much money off of this. Yeah. I don't know though. I'm not sure, because I I couldn't really understand what was going on in that history of Haywire, because he says that like the one record only came out in Europe, but I think that was like at the time it only came out in Europe or something, because I assume...
it came with a zine. It came with a zine, and then they sold out of it, but there was a few of the records left. The records themselves left, so they made some covers for them and were allowed to sell them. Okay. But it came with I forget, Trust. It came with a Trust zine as like a freebie. Okay,
so the second LP, I guess, is scarce in America. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So this record has 3 of the songs from the second LP on it. So I guess maybe it was like a hot commodity because you couldn't get these songs easily in America. So maybe it was worth releasing. I'm not really sure. I don't know. It's ancient history. But anyways, the cover is I assume just completely lifted from a comic book I'm unfamiliar with. Maybe Scott will ID it, but it's a guy. It's like separated into bars, almost like Black Flag, except there's a very big top bar. And it's a guy staring at a razor, and then the corresponding bars are him just cutting the shit out of his arm, super deep, and I assume killing himself. And then just his painless steel under it.
It's real Sin City looking, even though it's not from Sin City.
Yeah. Haywire, the logo is just like the kind of standard early 90s, like distressed Times New Roman that I think a lot of bands kind of uses. I think even it's like the Integrity, the one with the Integrity logos kind of use this too. But a lot of bands did. It's not like, it's just like, you had limited resources, so I get it. So that's all you get on the cover. It's all black and white. And the back cover is 4 pictures of the band, but it's very Danielle Dombrowski, just fucking swirlies all over the place, and you can't even really see shit. It just looks like a mess. And that'd be fine, but then for whatever reason they just cut and pasted like a handwritten label over the last picture that says all photos by Kirk. And it's like you could have typed that out. Like you just, I guess, it was the last second. Like maybe they had the layout all set up, and Kirk was like, "You're gonna give me credit on that, right?" And they're like, "Oh fuck!" And they had to do it real quick or something, because you could have did that a little more nicely. It says this is Nemesis L002. I don't know if this is really their second release. Does it say it on the... I guess their shit's all fucked up on the... Let me see. Yeah, this is like some other special second release that they did.
Maybe that's the second live one? L?
Yeah, I was going to say Nemesis, live, so L, so it's probably their second. So maybe they were trying to release more live 7 inches. I do like the actual record, the labels on the record, because they're little spinny things. They're like Thrasher spinny things. One black, one white, opposite, and like yin and yang. And when you put them on the record player, they spin and they look really cool. It's little swastika these days, but simpler times back then. But there's enough legs on the little spinny thing where it doesn't completely look like a swastika. There's 5 instead of 4, so it's okay. But I like that. If you're gonna give me a little package with not much, give me a little gimmick on the record label, so when I spin it looks cool. So that's very cool. But yeah, I mean, I don't really ever expect much from live albums, because it's like, I think you got to be a special kind of person to buy a live album anyways, and that person is not really me. So it's either going to be a bootleg or it's going to be something like you really, really care about, and I'm neither of those things for most things. So so I get it. I get like skimping on the packaging, but not very good for this podcast. But either way, it's fine packaging for a live 7-inch of a band that was probably broken up by the time it was released.
Yeah. As I say every so often, I do all of my work in a linear fashion, so I wasn't aware it was live when I was doing this part. I might have like figured into how I was thinking about it. So I did my best on this. I reverse imaged every piece of this. Couldn't find out what this is from. And it's not really familiar. It's really good artwork. It's like very gory, and it's a guy killing himself, so it's pretty rough for like a mainstream comic. So I'm guessing it has to be like something, some Gore Shriek or some Fangoria or something like that. But the artist who drew this is like classically good, in a way that I don't remember seeing a lot of in those kind of magazines and comics back then. You didn't see like very good artists doing this like grim shit like this, and it's not quirky. It's not like goofy jagged lines or like hasty line work or like It's not something interesting like someone who draws for like heavy metal. It's not like, Mobius or anything like that. It's just someone who could very easily be drawing Batman or X-Men who has illustrated a very vivid suicide that probably wouldn't be in either of those things in 89, 90. And the record title is amazing underneath that picture. It looks very good. They used the exact same image on their side of the split for that Trust magazine thing. So the No, Yes, No, and Haywire split, same artwork. So that's kind of a bummer. They couldn't find two things, I guess. But these guys, they have kind of a knack for stumbling into good cover art because Abominations, their full length, has one of the least Pusshead looking Pusshead covers I've ever seen.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
It's like Pusshead was trying to redo a Merciful Fate album cover or something like that. It doesn't look like his style at all. You could see some of his line work and the fingers and stuff, but I didn't even know they let Pusshead use an airbrush ever. He got out the Boardwalk t-shirt airbrush. It's crazy. The back cover is cool. It's like blurry live shots. Everything looks fine. And I like how I sort of like how the images are sort of stacked into like twin towers. Mm-hmm. It kind of mimics the cover because the cover is stacked in like prison bar lines. And this kind of does that too. It's very vertical, high contrast blocks. The text looks like almost like transfer letters. I could almost have thought it was a font, but I think doing the shaky letters on Earthquake would have been tough in the early 90s. So I feel like these are just the rub-on letters somehow that they got. The Nemesis logo is very cheap.
Yeah.
Writing the photo credit in hasty Sharpie is very cheap. Like I said, at the time that I was thinking about this, I wasn't wondering why it was this cheap. I was like, I wouldn't. I do like the James Bond rifling spirals on the records. And as Mike alluded to, in this day and age, any kind of spinning shape is immediately sketchy to us. I was working on a logo design a couple weeks ago that incorporated one of those like 45 record adapters.
Yeah.
The little yellow plastic things. Yep. Multiple independent viewers who are not vinyl nerds said that those look like dicks and also look like a Nazi symbol, like a Nazi symbol made of dicks. So you can't make things whirling in black and white anymore. It just looks like a Sonnenrad or Walking Sevens and you're canceled. So don't make it out of dicks. Don't make it out of anything. But in 1990, it looked cool. It looks fine.
Yeah. And there you have it. So now we can get into the music. This is 4 tracks, all live, either recorded on October 17th, 1998 or 1989, or maybe possibly in February, because I think that's when the Nirvana flyer was from. So it's somewhere in 1989 this was recorded somewhere, again, because the back says it was recorded at some place called Earthquake Tuesday, and that was not the name of the Nirvana venue. So I don't really know. So I should also say that I told Scott, I was like, well, it's a live record, so here's the regular records too, so you could listen to them, so we at least have a fighting chance, because it's kind of shitty to judge a band just on a live record. So I don't want to do a half-assed job. So the first track is Winding.
Baby, if I find it here, life won't be such a mess. And in my right down, I thought it was a string. Lord, and my Lord, I realize they'll be and wind it down, wind it down, wind it down, wind it down. There's a puzzle mirror, giant shadows lie, questions up to here, answers out my ass. Eyes are bleeding, tears are little fall. All of my problems were always just my fault. Winding down, winding down, winding down, winding what? Puzzle mirror, giant shadows lie, quenched Six up to here, answers out my ass. Bloodshot eyes are bleeding, tears are filled with salt. All of my problems, well, it's just my fault. Winding down, winding down, winding down, winding down. What?
So yeah, about the live thing. So 3 of these 4 tracks were on, I guess, what would be considered their last LP, which may or may not have been hard to get in America at the time. So I was expecting, I listened to this first, and then I went and listened to that live LP, and or the regular LP, I mean, their last LP. And that doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good at all. It sounds like that kind of sounds like maybe like slightly above practice tape level. Like it doesn't sound like Muddy, like an actual literal practice tape, but it sounds like something they recorded in a practice room. So yeah, it's really honestly a toss up. Which version of Haywire you like, because maybe you like this live version instead. I don't know, but either way, this is exactly what it's labeled as. It's thrashy crossover hardcore. It sounds very much like it's exactly from 1990. It's pretty on point. Since it's 1990 and hardcore guys still didn't really know what to do with their voices yet, he has that early 90s kind of carnival barker thing where he's yelling and he's screaming, and he has like a little affection on his voice, but it's pretty much still like a clean scream, but it's like whoa like that. In one of those articles, it also says that the guitarist added an extra track on the live album to tie it all together. You can't really tell, which I don't know if that's bad or good. I don't mean like you can't tell that there's an extra track there. I mean, it sounds just as shitty as the live recording. So I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you get like this old like digital like tape recording and somehow match that up with a studio guitar track. I don't know studio wizardry, but you cannot tell that there's something added extra in here because you can't. Yeah. It doesn't really sound it. Overall, though, this song is fairly catchy in a very old way, I guess. This is like, this is so far out of my wheelhouse. This is not really anything I would ever find myself listening to. So I can't really judge it because it's like, it's old. and I don't know. I know people like stuff that sounds like this, but I don't particularly like it. But I think it's fairly catchy. It's a fairly fine song. I don't think this is any worse or better than the actual recorded version on the LP. I think they both have their merits. But yeah, it's a fine song, I guess.
Yeah, I'll buy that this is crossover. It's pretty plain. This is like usually the crossover part is like there's metal and punk. Yeah. And I feel like I don't get enough. I don't really get. It just feels like rock. This is just kind of like heavy rock or like neutral hardcore to me. It's a little too plain for me. I think it's very funny to think about Nirvana like standing in the club over on the side while this is being recorded, like looking at their watches. Come on, guys. So people who are about to change the world are standing over there like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, so this is like, if this is beefed up with overdubs, that's funny because it's very tinny. Yeah, it's very live sounding. It's very distant live sounding, like a camera mic pointed at the stage. It doesn't sound terrible actually for what it is, but it's very like tinny guitars. Billy gets out of breath pretty quick, mostly probably because of the blazing intro, because the intro is like screamed and shouted, and I think it's a little too much. It came out too hot and ran out of steam. Also, the record, at least I don't know, Private Hell or whatever, has more gang vocals. I don't hear any of them anywhere on this record. That's kind of a demerit. Like I love gang vocals. They don't seem to be available to the band on this stage for some reason. But the guitars are real like early 90s, fizzy sounding, and even with the overdub. And you do hear the overdub once in a while. Sometimes you hear one guitar fade out a little early or one guitar do something slightly different. So you could tell that he is not lying. Another guitar was added at some point, but he did an excellent job of sounding just as bad as the original recording. I do like the sort of clanky bass tone. The bass has an actually really cool kind of buzzy, clanky bass sound. But it's not a ton to go on with this song. It's pretty plain. We don't get a lyric sheet.
No.
I think when I was 16, I was getting into like DRI and still trying to figure out if I liked the Cryptic Slaughter tape I bought on accident. I might have been okay with this. There's no chance this would have made my top 100 or even 1,000. But it is crossovery enough that I would have been like, okay, I guess I gotta like this. I gotta be into this.
The next track is called Bring the Power Down.
You said it's just your sensibility to exercise what you believe. We all have skeletons that hide in our closet. Sometimes I talk to mine, they keep me company. It seems addiction is everywhere. Technically, yes, but all I see is black and white. Talk is all it is, without any action. How I'd love to take it away from them tonight. There's a new joy that I found. Dignity drop like flakes of skin. I've got to bring the power down. Take it away. Everything is such a waste. There's a new toy that I found. Dignity drop like flakes of skin. I've got to bring the power down. Everything is such a waste. There's a new toy that I found. Dignity drop like flakes of skin. I've got to bring the power down. Bring the power down. Bring the power down. Bring the power down. Bring the power down, down, down.
So for whatever reason, this is their long, big, epic, slow song. And I don't know if I would include this on a live 7-inch, but obviously they recorded this as a show, so they probably played 6 songs. So I guess this was I don't know. I guess this was better than the other two they left off the record. I don't really know, but or maybe this is a big hit. I don't know, but it's like and again, I was barely listening. Like I was barely a fucking baby in 1990. Not really. I was old, but like not. I was like fucking still very young. I wasn't listening to shit like this. So maybe in 1999, when the band came out with their epic burner, people really like that. But I think it's slightly shorter than the actual album version. The album version is like 5 minutes long. Yeah. This one I think is like 4.5. It's a little shorter, but it's long. And as Scott said, the bass sounds very industrial. It just sounds like he's clanging away there, like he's a robot. It's great. I don't think this song needs to be revisited 35 years later. Honestly, this is not like anything special. It's just long and kind of plodding and. Again, we had 35 years of musical evolution to judge this on. In 1989, this might have been revolutionary to see like a hardcore-ish band come up here and play this like epic 5-minute bullshit song. But now it's not that great. I do like near the end, the singer says "Take it away," and then the guitarist plays a solo because you don't get that too often at hardcore shows ever even. So it's pretty cool. The solo sounds so digital though. It just sounds like he's playing it through a Nintendo or something because it's just it's so tinny and digital. But yeah, this song is too fucking long. I would have really preferred for them to put any of the other songs they played that night instead of this one.
Yeah. I want to get behind this one because it's slow and doomy, but it feels a little rudimentary, and also like the album version works because the guitars are way bigger and heavier. Yeah. So like the whole thing is that the guitars are just playing these long, drawn out kind of doomy riffs with the guy kind of yelling over it. We're missing all the frequencies that make that cool, and you're just sort of left with the tinniness. So this kind of feels like a very high school Battle of the Bands. Kind of thing to me. There's an odd turn. I think it's toward the end of the song where they sort of shift the melody and they shift the vocals a little bit, so it almost sounds inspirational. And it kind of gets into this like "They're coming to America" vibe going on. That has some flavor to it. That's not bad. It feels like, at the end of a rock and roll movie, like a real rock and roll movie, when they do like the slow rocker, like in Hedwig or Rocky Horror, there's those like long meandering jams that they'll have when everyone's kind of realizing that the nightmare is over or whatever. Except in those cases, you have like a glam singer doing an elaborate melody and carrying the song. I don't know if Billy is up to the Hedwig and the Angry Inch challenge, but more to the point, this is like a closer, or it's something. This is some sort of penultimate, if not ultimate moment. It's track 2. Yeah. Why is this track 2? This is not a track 2 song at all. It's such a drawn out, slow burn, end of the night jam. It's very funny to stick it here. That's like putting your not best foot forward this way.
It's not the last jam on the LP either. I think it's kind of in the middle, so maybe they were sequencing for cassette. I mean, like, this will be the last song on side A, so make the last song on the side A of the record too. I don't know. But
set them up for the rope-a-dope on side 2, I guess.
So you flip it over, and the first track on side B is Skin Diver.
Are you witness propaganda? The Skin Diver by the motherfucking death. Motherfuckers of us, pissing on the demonstrators. Sending out this everywhere on the sidewalk delegation. That's up to the world, getting the secrets Christine. And outside one clip, to the last employees. The city is unclean. Violent and ultra, we'll see what kind of business they mean. That's how the world is made, the census Christine. I don't try to watch it to the last employee. the world to see. Please put the matches in a can of gasoline. I'll make all the diseases believe.
So Skin Diver is, I guess, I get it mixed up. So I think Skin Diver is one of their old songs. I think that's from their regular LP. So this is the beginning of this song. He like introduces the band, you know, when he says, "This is Vadim, the Russian bear on the Skins." And I like this because he calls the bass the throb muscle, and I've never heard that before. And it makes me wish I was still in a band so I could say, "Hey, he's on the throb muscle over there," because it's a good term for the bass. Yeah. This is also, out of all the songs on here and those clips of other songs I've heard, this is their best song on the real recordings too. This is easily their best song. So yeah, this is the other one on the other record. That's a better record than what these other three records are taken for. The other three tracks are taken from. It sounds a bit messier live because it's just a whirlwind of very compressed sounding tinny noise. So I wouldn't judge this song just on this live record. I guarantee you it sounds a lot better and cooler on the actual record. It's a pretty hard song. Like, this song is pretty fucking hard. This is more my speed. It's unfortunately, recording doesn't do it justice. At the end, there's a very quick guitar lead that sounds like it's coming from a ghost. Like, it's just so hauntedly in the back. And sounds like it's coming through lead walls. So it's a cool song that I wish was better represented on this recording.
Yeah. This is where the Vadim Russian bear hitting the Skins joke is on this. They also make a cool Hyrax joke.
Yeah.
So we're off and running. That's good stuff. And then, hey, this song actually goes. Why isn't this side one? This should have been side one, track one. Everything about this song has strong track one, side one energy. Has cool funky intro, and once they start ripping, it's like a Venom song. This sounds like Venom. I love Venom. I love how freeform guitarists were in the late 80s. Like, this whole song is just really approximate on guitar. He's just shredding and noodling. There's just like bending notes and just, little riffs and stuff until the slam. Keyword slam. We get a slam finally in this. Like, we're supposed to have mosh. We're supposed to have the words mosh part written in the lyric sheet by now. We finally got one. It took till track 3. But we get the real pick up the change mosh here. It's great. I love it. I love side 2 is off to an incredible start. And even the version of it that's on the record also has incredible crossover guitar tone. Like, perfect crossover guitar tone. It's not on this record. It's got that sort of the hollow, I don't know how to describe it. But you'll know it when you hear it. When you hear it, you say, "Oh, this could have been on In Effect Records," and it would have been right at home.
So the final song is called Sword Swallower. This is like a tongue twister for me. Sword Swallower. That's
I have been bent over God knows how many times. You keep me bent over, stopping my behind. I am the sword swallower. I am the sword swallower. Yeah. Don't know me. Bring the hand up. Feed you all your shit. Don't make me swallow your lies. I don't give a shit. I am the sword swallower. I am the sword swallower. Swallowing all your lies. Someone so slippery. Oh, it's so slippery. Right on your hand. Like a greasy cock. Can't trust anyone. I can't trust anyone.
smart for me to say. Luckily, my first note is I like the delivery of when he says, "I am the sword swallower." That is very old school. Like, you know, all of those fucking bands, MOD, SOD, Anthrax, they all have that pattern. And it's stupid. Like, it's so outdated now. You can't do that in a song anymore. But so many of these kind of thrashier metal bands did it back then. So you had to do it. Like, he had to be like, I have a song where I address myself, or like even Sheer Terror, I am the spoiler. Like, you have to have that. You have to do that. And so I like that he's representing there. I will say, though, this song, not sound-wise, not recording-wise, but this song, I guess, structurally-wise, sounds better than the one on the record. This sounds it sounds a bit more put together. It sounds heavier. It's I don't know. I like this version more than I like the record version, because I think that at first, when I first listened to it, I was like, oh, this is my favorite song on the record. And then when I listened to the real versions, I was like, well, Skin Diver's the best song. But I think this is just this record alone. I do think this is the best song on this record. They do a little fake out ending, like they're kind of fading out, but then it goes into like very intense circle pitting, spilling the beer all over the place. Sean Duty in the corner looking grumpy, kind of fist pumping part. And that's a really good way to end this record. So I understand why they didn't put that bullshit long thing at the end, but it also sucks for the end of a side A. So like I said, you should have just deleted that Bring the Power Down altogether. But I do think this was the proper way to end this record. So side B is like a million times better than side A for this record.
Hell yeah. It's a song about sucking dick too, I think. I'm with it. This song rips. It's still very much on the 80s thrash tip. Even has the band like dissolving into the heavy halftime part. The way, like, there's a way that 80s bands did it where it sounds like maybe the band didn't see it coming. All of a sudden they're playing halftime. They weren't clean like Biohazard or whatever. They just, oh shit, now we're playing halftime. The thing I didn't foresee was the Tron breakdown in this song. The song stops and they start playing guitar, like these Wendy Carlos riffs on their guitars, and the bass and drums come back very funky. And the singer starts breathlessly moaning over that part about how he can't trust anyone. And I don't know what the lyrics are because they didn't tell us, but it sounds like it's I'm not kidding that I feel like this is like a Faith No More Be Aggressive thing, where someone wrote lyrics for him that were not subtle about like holding the balls and swallowing the length. It felt like I was hearing those words, but maybe not. If these guys are homophobes, I'm glad to be workshopping this material in front of you guys, make you feel bad. But I can't confirm. Well, I don't know if I'm right or wrong. They didn't include a lyric sheet. There's no way of knowing. The song rips. This is this whole side. This is side 1. Delete side A. Only side B. Team side B 100%. This would have been a good way to end side 1. But I guess it's a default. It's a good way to end side 2.
And there you have it. There is Haywire's Painless Steel live 7-inch from 1990 on Nemesis Records. At the end of these, I usually like to do a little rating system where I say either throw it in the trash, listen to it on streaming, buy it in the bargain bin, buy it for full price, or buy it for collector's prices. Sorry, Discogs changed their thing. Yeah, so this is all of these foreign? Holy shit. Okay, there we go. So you get this for $3. $3 from Radiation Records, which is a record store in California I buy from sometimes. So yeah, it's like a $3 record. I think that's fine. I don't think... My rating is in the bargain bin, I guess. Like, I think you should maybe seek out their other material before you go for the live record, but this seems like something you probably have to already be a fan of the band to like. I mean, I'm not going to run out and buy their LPs. Like, it didn't really, inspire me to buy their LPs or anything. But I know people are more fans of stuff that sound more like this than me, so... I would say, buy it in the bargain bin if you are one of those people that are a little bigger fans of earlier kind of crossover thrash music. And as we both said, the first side, you could just skip that. Just go straight to side B. Yeah.
It seems weird to put out a live record.
Yeah.
Like, if you're famous, people want to hear your live show and your demos and everything. But if you're young boys just starting out, this is a crazy idea. I don't get why this record exists. Like, why did you do this? Why did you do that? I guess it's easy.
Yeah,
it's probably really easy, but it's also pretty lucky. I didn't hear any of the stuff I would expect to hear from young boys playing. Like, if anyone out there who's never been a young boy in a band, your young boy band will fucking suck on stage pretty routinely. And someone will get lost and wave their hands for the whole band to stop and start the song over in front of people because they got lost. One guy will be like, no, start over. And, or someone will just flub apart and start playing like the whole wrong song. Lots of stuff goes wrong. So to have the most important show of their lives be flawless and like sound really good, maybe they just practice up. It's kind of unbelievable. I don't know. Maybe it's not flawless. Maybe I'm missing. Maybe there was maybe side one was supposed to be a lot better than it actually was. Maybe Rick left out all the twin leads that would have bent my mind. Maybe
they had to put the long song on there because all the other songs they fucked up too much.
Shit, we only did 4 songs properly. I don't know, but they got it done, which is crazy. I don't know if it's good. It's not all bad, but the cover is really cool. But you could also get that cover on a different record that comes with the Sabbath cover that you weren't going to get anywhere else. So, side B is entirely listenable, but it's also listenable on the other 2 albums that you could buy that are really good. So I don't know, man. I don't know why you'd choose this.
Yeah.
I don't like jam music, but I get why jam bands buy those tapes because the songs are different every day.
Yeah.
I don't think that Haywire, I don't think it applies to Haywire. I'd love to hear them. I'd prefer to hear them with some studio assistance. There's 0 chance I'm ever going to listen to this record again. Not one chance. I might look at that cool cover art. It's really cool. If you're a major crossover guy and you're really into like old COC and DRI and you want to hear what it'd be like if it was a little worse. Maybe if you like Venom, you want to hear what it would be like if it was a little worse live. This is going to be fine. So that's like a 7 for you. Go pick it up. On the Tin Fish scale, I don't want to give it a really low score because I liked a little bit of it. And like last week's band, I didn't like at all. So it's got to be better than that. And it also gets better as it goes along, which I encourage. You should, every day you should be better than the you of yesterday. Just like Haywire. Be better like Haywire. So since they got better, I'm going to let them skate with a passing grade of 6. But the band gets like an 8. Go buy those other 2 albums and then buy the Trust 7-inch or whatever. You get the cool cover art. You get all the same songs. Win-win. It all sounds better. That's an 8. This, it's like a 6 because I'm feeling good today. That's it. It's Christmas.
It's the holiday season.
It's the holiday season.
The season of giving.
Yep.
Well, there you have it. There is Haywire's Painless Steel 7-inch from 1990. We have to record a Patreon after this. Next week, I have no idea what we're doing. The day I usually rip records is Christmas, so I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough. We're gonna have to
be a hiatus.
I'm gonna have to think on my feet real quick what we're doing because I've already run out of stuff for the SEO series, so I'm gonna have to dig in the archives to see what pops up. But so next week will be a big surprise. I hope all you guys have a happy holidays. I hope you would have an even happier holidays if you subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/first7inch club, and we would talk to you even quicker on there and give you a little holiday record recommendation. But until then, Scott, do you have any last words?
Let's review the Bandstand Bears. I'll find videos of all the different Bandstand Bears. I just realized while we're talking that they made a Santa Claus version, and we'll just watch videos of all those and review those instead of a record next week for Christmas.
That sounds great. So until next week, fuck Charlie. Fuck Charlie.